I just wanted to make a video, and I haven't made one in over a week just because I haven't felt like it. I get so wiped out after work, and you know, I'm really starting to feel my age. And being this age, so many of the people, the famous people that I grew up with, are leaving the scene, and that includes musicians, especially these days. It's more musicians. When I was in my 20s and 30s, the greats of the Hollywood golden era, they pretty much died out. Then in my 40s and 50s and early 60s, most of the people that were prominent when I was a kid, or I should say when I was in my 40s and 50s, most of those who were prominent during television's golden era, say the 50s and 60s, they've passed from the scene. And now, you know, I'm in my 60s and approaching 70, and the musical greats of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, especially the 60s, are leaving the scene. And so everybody knows Tina Turner passed away today at the age of 83, and she had some illnesses recently in her life, and they didn't disclose exactly what she died of, but she had had kidney problems. She also had battled intestinal cancer, so she had a lot of health issues. But she had a good run for most of her career. She performed until, you know, well into her senior years, and people always remarked at how well she looked, and she did. She always looked really good. But it all, in the end, it all catches up with you. And she wasn't even as old as we would think she was going to live. We thought, or a lot of us thought, she was going to make it well into her 90s. But that didn't happen. But she was known for starting out with her ex-husband, first husband, Ike Turner. And they had a slew of hits. Probably her best one was the one that was not a success in the 60s, and that was River Deep Mountain High, which was a very good record, or great record, and it was produced by famed producer, later convicted murderer, Phil Spector. And then, of course, she and Ike split up, and he was regarded as an abuser to her, so she embarked on a solo career and had tons of success on that, maybe even more successful than she had been with Ike. And then later on, she, I think for tax reasons, I could go back and refresh my memory and or bury through this long obituary in the New York Times. And I think for tax reasons, she went to Switzerland and renounced her American citizenship, and that is where she died. But that was sad, just because it's another figure from when I was a kid, and a young woman has left the scene. So that was one thing that was on my mind. And let's see, oh gosh, there was this, and I hate this dark theme stuff because it reflects every goddamn thing. But anyway, it's not a surprise that these anti-abortion nutters want to go after contraception. Supposedly, ostensibly because they think that, like the birth control pill and the IUD, that they cause abortion. Let's face it, what they're really after is controlling women. And women just have no business in the public sphere at all. They belong on their back or in the kitchen. That is all they're for. And that's what's aiming us. And the most disgraceful thing about this here is there are students. A student group is yammering about birth control, that they were going after, or contraception, because abortion is a form of birth control. And they'll fail like they always will. They think they've won. They think they've won the war, and they haven't won shit. They just won the battle in front of the U.S. court, Supreme Court. And then, of course, we were treated to this, and apparently old DeSantis out of Florida had kind of a flop of an announcement today. Twitter was kind of on the fritz. But that's probably an omen, because he's nothing but a closet fascist who should be rejected. I don't care if he comes out and allegedly supports women's rights to their spaces and sports and all that. That's just a bunch of politicking. He doesn't give a shit about women. And he's a dangerous SOB. There's no question. So I don't think he has much chance. I don't think he can dethrone Donald Trump. But he's a full-on fascist. And the guy kind of worries me. He's much younger than Trump. I mean, he could pose a challenge to Biden and stuff, but hopefully he doesn't get past Iowa, and hopefully he's not on the ticket with Trump. And of course they're doing all this yakking, getting away from DeSantis. They're doing all this yakking about the debt limit. They need to get rid of that stupid shit. All they're doing, all the Republicans are doing, is weaponizing this. They yammer and talk it down, and then they're not beyond defaulting the country just to put it on Biden's watch and help them politically. They never bitched about the debt limit when Trump was there. They always raise the debt limit, but the debt limit shouldn't even be there anyway. It's a bunch of crap. And let's see, what else am I going to yammer about? Oh God, there's a couple articles. Oh yeah, there's one, and I didn't bring it up. Oh crap, let's see, after 50, yeah, not that one. Oregon High School. Vandalize. Okay. Anyway, where the hell is that? Oh, that's 22. That's not what I want. Okay, we don't want that one. But this is a Washington Examiner, so that's right-wing. But anyway, they were talking about a tampon dispenser in an Oregon, Lake Oswego, Oregon high school was found in the toilet. So the boys were upset that this vending machine was in their space. And they, of course, they felt like, well, boys don't need these. But, of course, vandalism isn't the way to handle it, to deal with it. But, again, this is all a bunch of shit from the wokey-dokes and all of this stuff. Lake Ridge High School has sanitary pad and tampon dispensers in every bathroom, including the boys' bathrooms, where one dispenser was placed in a stall's toilet. Photos of the abandoned dispenser were shared online, per an email from the school. Oh, yeah. And here's what it looked like. Yeah, so the boys were not happy about it. And, yeah, honestly, what did the Oregon House Dems and the school expect? This is a complete joke and a waste of education funds. It is. Because, frankly, no so-called trans boy, a girl who's screwed up in the head and thinks she's a boy or wants to be a boy to escape the pornified culture that surrounds them, none of them are going to use the boys' restroom. Not if they're smart. They're not going to use it. So this was just an absolute laughingstock. So, according to the district, this is in compliance with 2021's Oregon Menstrual Dignity Act, which passed the bipartisan Oregon House unanimously when it was House Bill 3294. Then it passed the Senate with 17 yeas and 11 nays. The law requires all schools to provide free feminine hygiene products in all bathrooms. That would have been great when I was young. We had to pay a dime for that stuff. The measure affects some 552,000 K-12 students, 85,000 community college students, and 96,500 public university students statewide, per the email. So anyway, there was that. And so there's just a lot of stuff that's been going on. I could talk about that cheater in California that beat the girls in I think a track event or something, and the girl was supposedly gestured with her thumb down. I could talk about that. There's a lot of things I could talk about, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. There just was a lot of stuff going on, and I thought I'd go ahead and give my 2 cents for what it's worth, and that's it.